we can show you a little of the realignment that we're talking about here. And if you look at this, right, all this over here, this is a dominant state for the Republican Party and had been for a long time. You think about George Bush's second term, right? He won that state by 16.5 points. It wasn't even on the map in terms of consideration, but slowly Georgia changed. And a lot of it changed for the metro area, the 26 counties that make up Atlanta. Here was Trump in 2016. I give it to him, right? 5 points 8 years ago. But things seemed to change in 2020 and change in a significant way when Joe Biden went in there and took the state by 0.2 percentage points, a raw vote of 11,779. All right. Now, so this is where we are now. Now, just, with a lot of that vote out there, Trump's got a lead of 22 points, and that's going to change throughout the night, but we just want to let you know what's happening there. Let's look at the vote difference for North Carolina. Similar story, maybe less of an advantage for the Republicans, but this is all, this is all red. You look at what Bush and Kerry did in 2004. That was easy. That wasn't a battleground at all. This is where Barack Obama performed so well, took the Tar Heel state just by so much they're okay in North Carolina, but was able to pull it off. Let's come back to 2020 right now, and I can show you what I'm seeing there. Let's go ahead and clear this, all right? Yeah. So as you can see, like these states, they change. And it's a real part of this national conversation about where people move, where people choose to live, where people choose to work, go to school, et cetera. So we'll might tag on to that throughout the night.
North Carolina, you look at the counties you are following, Wake County, Raleigh.
Yes.
There's just such a population shift. More than 1 million people have shifted down there, and it's a different crowd. So that's why maybe you have a different electorate in North Carolina that Democrats are looking to.
Yeah, I look at Wake County. We can show you on the board in a second here. I look at Guilford, too. That's Greensboro. A lot of folks campaigning there. Kamala Harris was there. Donald Trump was there. Young folks go there to go to school and to find a job as well. And we'll see about Mecklenburg, which is Charlotte. Mecklenburg, Carl, that's a county that Democrats have tried to really capture. And they're able to win the county, but not by big enough of a margin to capture the entire state. So that's been somewhat elusive.
Carl perked up when you said Bush-Kerry. He really felt the old days.
It was a good moment, yeah. It was a good moment. But you're right, the change in it, like Mecklenburg, black turnout in Mecklenburg is below any other place I've seen in the South. Major county. The five major counties around Atlanta, Wake, Henrico, Richmond, Chesterfield, and Virginia. It's amazing, and I don't understand exactly why, but black turnout in Mecklenburg has kept the Democrats from winning the state.
Well, I just wanted, you had spoken earlier about North Carolina and Hurricane Helene and the impact on, I believe, 25 counties were affected by Hurricane Helene. And one of the early discussions was, a lot of those counties are red. Are they going to be able to vote? And then everyone felt like it was going to be okay. It looked like it was in good shape for
I'll show that to Martha here. And I don't know how much of that vote we've got in, but we're looking at this with virgin eyes here, okay? You're only 2% statewide. But what you're talking about, Martha, let me go ahead and draw this up here. All those 25 counties are west of Mecklenburg that we're talking about. They're west of Charlotte, okay? This is the blue dot in the western part of North Carolina. That's Buncombe County. That's Asheville. And that helped Joe Biden erase about a 43,000 net gain on behalf of Donald Trump. All the other 25 counties, Trump was up about 270,000. So he came out of these 25 counties that were so wrecked by this hurricane with a net of he lost 43 in Buncombe, a net of 220,000 votes. So let's go and clear this off and just refresh our memories here from 4 years ago. Here were the results, right? Trump won the state several days later, but a little less than 75,000 votes. So all this out here, it's going to matter. And what the Democratic governor, Roy Cooper, said is that he was going to put these mobile voting vans in western North Carolina to make sure that nobody gets ripped off from casting a vote on behalf of Helene.
Laura, the Harris campaign is pointing to schools like Appalachian State, the polling place in Boone County. They're saying schools in Pennsylvania and Nevada are huge lines. They're mobilizing young people. That's what they're sending out, at least now. What do you think?
15 polling places in Georgia have had to have extended hours because of that bomb threat that you guys were reporting on earlier, various bomb threats. And in Georgia, it's DeKalb County, Gwinnett, other key population centers. Will that affect the ultimate result in a place like Georgia? We'll find out. But Donald Trump this morning in West Palm Beach looked into the camera and he said, "Stay in line." Like it took him a while to sort of ask for people's votes over this campaign season.
Twitter tonight, he's still up on X saying, "Stay in line."
Yeah, stay in line. Don't get out of the line, because Harris supporters were reporting in Pennsylvania, Lehigh University students, that they waited in line for 6 hours to vote. 6 hours, and that was confirmed by a bunch of other reporting. So people have to, and a lot of people can't wait in line for that long. And so that could end up being something that both parties complain about in the end. But, we'll see.
Robert?
So, as you know, when we were all at the convention together, I said that Kamala Harris was the underdog and that Trump would win. And I didn't shift until maybe with Martha like 2 weeks ago. And the reason was the following. One, on the economy, yes, it's number one, but it went from Trump plus 15 to Trump plus 8. And so that was a big difference.
And some polls had it even tighter.
And some, I think Fox ended up at 6. And then the second thing was the money. Harris campaign raised $1 to $2 billion. All of a sudden, it wasn't just the blue wall. Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina come into play. And Martha and I have spoken about it, not to make this a gender issue, but Arizona and Nevada do have reproductive rights on the line. So that makes a big difference on the gender vote. So listen, I'm not going to say I went from optimistic to nauseously optimistic. I'm going to stay at optimistic, but we're going to have to see what happens in Atlanta and Charlotte and some of the big cities that, we're depending huge votes for Harris. But it doesn't feel as good yet.
But we have a lot of vote that is still outstanding, right, Carl?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, some of these smaller counties in Georgia and North Carolina will come in quickly, but the bigger counties where this will be settled will take a little while to get compiled.
But you'll be looking not only at how she's doing versus Biden, but how he's doing against himself, 2020 and 2016.
Right. And my suspicion is that we will see a pattern of he's doing better in rural areas and he's doing slightly worse in urban and suburban areas. And the key will end up being, the decider will be, if he continues to get 25% of the black male vote, this will be the best Republican performance in that group since at least 1960. And it will be powerful.
Okay, that's one to watch. Thank you, panel. The countdown is on to a slew of poll closings across the country, including the Big Kahuna. Pennsylvania, one of the biggest battleground prizes of the night. Our special coverage continues here on Fox next.